Hey, everybody, welcome to Grilling at the Green here in Portland and in Pennsylvania and in Texas and all over, and especially on the Golf News Network. I'm JT, your host. How's your golf game this week? If it's like mine, we've got snow, so nothing's going on there. Really fortunate to have Daniela Amaka. Now, as soon as I thought about saying it, I said it wrong. Ammaccapane, is that right?
Yeah, Danielle Ammaccapane.
Danielle Ammaccapane. I'm sorry about that, but I got tongue tied, which is not good for somebody in my business. Anyway, Danielle was a LPGA Tour player. I believe she won 7 tournaments, a lot of top 25s, a lot of top 10s, and she lives in Scottsdale. And she started something new, as you heard us talk about if you were listening off the air. She is the founder and president of the Infinity Women's Golf Tour. Danielle, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Nice to be on with you.
Oh, I appreciate that. We'll talk more about your tour career and stuff in one of the later segments, but we talked a few times off the air. And would you please tell us about the Women's Golf Tour and why you were so instrumental and had so much perseverance in making this happen?
Well, I don't think there's no surprise to this. So the men have always had the Champions Tour, and
Right.
that was the way for them to continue their career after they were leaving the PGA. And everybody knows that the women have never had anything like that. So really, this was that. It started as just that, and then it kind of morphed itself into what it is now, which is really kind of cool. So that's how it started. Right now we're running with 2 leagues. So I am doing all the ages. So we're going to have 21 to 39, and then we're going to have a league for 40 and older. And girls are going to be on teams. They're going to get drafted to be on teams. They're going to be like some mid-season trades. We're going to have some individual play, some team play, and we're going to have girls mic'd up for some reality. We're going to do betting, real-time betting. We're gonna have, oh my God, we're gonna have so much stuff. I'm trying to think all the things. Oh, we're gonna have nightly entertainment. We're gonna have concerts and just so much fun. This is gonna be a place for the ladies to showcase their golf without the stress of, you know, the LPGA and what that represents and all. And I did that for 20 years and I loved it. And I traveled all over the world and, wouldn't have traded that for anything. But the women just didn't have anything to transition into. And I just wanted something fun and lighthearted and a way for them to showcase, their golf because they're really good and nobody gets to see it and they don't get to see their personalities. And now we're going to be able to showcase that.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to get up and close and personal to the greats of the game that you used to watch and love.
I know I've covered LPGA golf here in Portland. What it's this year, it's the Standard Classic, but the Portland Classic. And
I won there.
yes, I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's so much different than covering a PGA Tour event. You don't want to disturb anybody during the round, but you can feel free to walk up to the ladies after the round or even
Yeah.
on the practice range or whatever, and they're very willing to talk to you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
on the
Yeah,
other
the
t
ladies are a little more engaging sometimes. I'm not going to say that the men aren't.
yeah,
But they play for a lot of money. And I think the other thing that I wanted to incorporate was the fact that I feel like golf in a whole on all sides has gotten too serious. And I always felt like when I started my career and it was my job to entertain not only with my golf game, but to entertain the fans and be, fun and things
yeah.
like that. But I just feel like somewhere along the line, the game just got so serious. And I think it's because the money, went on a rise and everybody thought, oh, I gotta like work out now and I gotta have my trainer and my head coach and my and
And my
all
chef and
yeah,
everybody.
and everything, and it seemed like it just got too serious. And I just don't think that's what golf was meant to be. Back in the day when you had Lee Trevino and Chichi Rodriguez and they were doing I mean, that's what we need to bring that fun back to golf, and that's what I want to do.
I know that like on the guys tour, they are they're suffering from some television ratings.
Yeah,
Part of it is Tiger's not playing much anymore, if at all. Okay, that being said, we all knew that day was coming, but um, they don't interact with people like you say. There's not any levity in it.
yeah,
It's they're winning tremendous amounts of money, and more
yeah,
power to them for that. If you can play
yeah.
at that elite level, go for it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think the me being in the media business, I can actually say it's not that entertaining to watch.
Right.
I personally like to watch the LPGA tour
Yeah.
tournaments better,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like that.
I completely agree with you. And that was the whole reason for us kind of doing this. This was what I really kind of wanted to do. I wanted to bring that fun and entertainment part back. And I'm really calling it almost like an entertainment tour. This really is going to be kind of fun. We might even have girls who you've never even heard before who say to themselves, you know what? I can try out for that tour and I might be able to make it. And you might see the next greatest 40-year-old that you've never seen on any tour at all. And she might be the most fun person you've ever seen. And it just could just be this door could open up to so many other gals that don't have the opportunity to play any of those other tours. And that maybe we're looking for the next star,
Yeah.
and who's to say that we couldn't have celebrities and we can't have influencers play and all that? Well, sure we can. We can have all those.
Well, if you're creating it, you
Yep.
can do what you want.
Well, we are going to have them. We've already created, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
No, I think that's good. And you touched on it earlier that the entertainment factor is so important.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's they you go to a tournament and yeah, it's kind of cool to see the top players and you see this and you see the Titleist trailer or whatever if you've never seen that stuff before. But it's not that entertaining unless you're just a diehard golf
Yeah,
fanatic, you know.
yeah,
But in something what you're talking about, it's a little more enticing to the general public too.
yeah,
Because people that are over 40 have heard
yeah,
about Julie Inkster or
yeah, yeah.
Christie or whoever you get to play. I know you got those in your press release. You said you had
Yes.
those ladies signed up and a couple other
Mhm.
ones.
Mhm.
But it might be fun. It might be fun listening to Christy Kerr talk about her wineries, her vineyards. So,
Hey, we're gonna have Christy Kerr Cellars wines. We are gonna have those at our events. And she's gonna be available to talk to people. And it's not that I'm not a truist of the game. I love the game.
yeah, yeah.
I've always loved the game, and I love everything about the game, how honest you have to be, and everything's on and I love that. It's just it's the coolest sport, and I'm not trying to do anything to change that.
Right.
I feel like golf has kind of gotten, like I said, I think it's just a little too serious, maybe a little too stuffy, and I think and the fans really want to be engaged, and they're helping us see where golf needs to go. And I think this is what we're doing. I think we are taking it where the market wants it.
How long did it take you to come up with the components? I mean, did you just sit down one day with a legal pad and do this, or had you been? I'm sure you'd been thinking about it over the years. You don't do
No,
something like this on a whim.
no, you don't. I've been working on it for a couple years, and it's been a lot of stuff has been tossed around. I met a gentleman by the name of Ty Twine, who is now the CEO and commissioner of this tour. He is the first Black man to ever be the CEO or commissioner of a women's sports organization, and he
Oh,
was just put on the cover of a magazine. He's going to be on two magazines, I think. One now on Formidable, but he is brilliant. He put all of this together with my help and really created something special. And he took all my ideas that I wanted, incorporated into this really cool two-league kind of tour and everything that we're doing. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with the product. He really did something special.
excellent. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back with Daniela Ammaccapane. Did I say it right that time?
Danielle.
Okay, Danielle. Okay, I'm getting there. By the time this show's over, I'll have it. Anyway, we'll
Hey,
be
Daniela, if that's the worst thing I get called, there's no problem.
okay. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Grilling at the Green. I'm JT. Today we've got Danielle Ammaccapane with us today. She is the president and founder of the Infinity Women's Golf Tour. Besides being a tour player on the LPGA, with 7 wins and a ton of top 10s and top 25s, this is the part of the show, Danielle, where we ask people for a travel tip. You're a world traveler. I know this.
Yes.
Most people will say, like, I put my extra sweatshirts or whatever in my golf bag.
Right.
But one of the things that I encourage people to give their thoughts on is comfort, especially when you're flying on very long flights.
Yeah.
I've been a world traveler too, and those long flights can be killers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when
for
you
sure.
got on those planes, what was the first thing you did? Did you make a little nest in your seat, or? Uh,
Well, it certainly depended on what class I was
oh,
flying.
that's true. That's true.
So if I was ever going first class, I knew that they were going to have all the amenities for me to be comfortable. But if I flew anything else, I kind of had to bring those things with me. But most certainly I had to have something to put my head on. A pillow of some
Yep.
sort, a very small travel pillow was always my favorite thing to travel with. Yes, sometimes I get cold on the airplanes, always either a blanket or an extra sweatshirt, something like that. And then I always try to travel with something to support my back in the seat so that, my back didn't bother me so much when I would get up or at the end of that flight.
Yeah. No, those are good tips
Oh,
because
and food. You always got to make sure you got food.
you got to have food. You
Gotta
got to
have
have
food.
food. That food is the cost of the food is directly proportional to what part of the airport you're in.
Yeah,
Once you get through security, you talk about inflation, the food prices go up there at the
they do.
at the Hudson stores or whatever
Yeah.
they're at. So let's go back to the Infinity Women's Golf Tour.
Mhm.
Um, how's the reception been for it? I mean, you got to get the players first before
Sure.
yeah, do that.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of ladies who've signed some letters of intent that say, "Hey,
Sure.
I'd like to be a part of this." I got a boatload of those. I don't know that I'm really going to have all that hard of a time finding the talent. I think these girls are starved for something. I think they want to play, and I think they're really gonna enjoy what we're doing. I mean, it's unprecedented. We are offering, and this is the first ever, guaranteed contracts. So when those girls get drafted, those 5 girls on the team, those 5 girls are going to have guaranteed money to show up and play. And then we're going to play for some individual money and we're going to play for some team money. So this is, I think, something that the ladies are going to love.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play?
I'm gonna play a little bit this year, and I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing later here this year. But come next year when we launch here in the United States, I'm not going to play. I don't want to take a spot away from a gal who's could potentially be earning some sort of a living money, and I just feel like, I'm gonna have so much to do. I just don't know that I can do both, and I don't think it would be fun for me.
Well, where are you gonna start?
Yeah, so this year we partnered with the United Nations. We have 6 countries that we're going to visit, and they have an initiative to empower women through sports,
Hmm.
and they're using our tour as a vehicle to do that. And so we're honored to travel to these 6 countries and get the word out about women and equality and all this kind of stuff that we are all about, anyways. And it helps us kind of get the brand out there before we actually launch next year here in the United States. And we will play 10 tournaments next year with a tour champion. So really 11 events.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are there any countries that you never played in but wanted to that you're gonna be
Yeah,
in?
so we are actually going to some countries that I'm super excited about that I've never been. So we do have our dates locked in we're going to Tuscany, Italy in
Oh, yeah.
May 19th. So I'm really excited about that. And then we'll start up again in June. We'll have off in July. We'll kick back up again. And I believe I may get these countries not in the right order, but we will play one a month. And we're going to be going to, I believe, Spain and then Abu Dhabi and we're going to go to Rio de Janeiro, and then we're going to go to Marrakesh, and then we're going to finish up in the United States in Florida in November.
Do you need a media hack to go with you to help you with this stuff?
Yeah, I know
Those,
everybody's volunteering because they all
I
want to go.
I bet. I bet. Now, I've been to a couple of those places, but
Yeah.
um,
Rio's probably one of the ones that it was really on my bucket list. It just looks
yeah,
like a really fun city, so I'm excited to go there.
I wouldn't mind going to Marrakesh.
Yeah, Marrakesh I think is going to be pretty neat as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been to the Middle East, but I was working, you might say, and so
Uh,
I couldn't get around to see a lot of things. But
yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of fun. Um, is have you had any pushback on this at all? I can't imagine
I'm
why.
sorry. Yeah, and then I didn't answer your question earlier. So we launched just in January 16th. Word got out pretty quickly what we were doing, and I haven't had anybody.
Good.
It's been really, really um, well received. Everybody's loving it. Everybody thinks it's great. A lot of gals have thanked me for doing this, and I'm happy to help. And like I said, this kind of fell in my lap and I just ran with it. And I was like, we need this. So we need this, and this is important. So women's sports is on a rise. This is perfect. The
Yeah.
timing of it is perfect.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
And I've been a big proponent, not that it matters to most people, but I really have been a big proponent of women in sports and want to see them succeed and go further. A lot of talented folks. And I've said this too. If you get a chance to play in a pro-am or anything with the tour players,
Mhm.
don't think you can beat them. Okay. Just do
Right.
yourself that favor, lower your expectations, and have a good time that day.
Yeah, it is funny. All my male friends that I play golf with and stuff, but they all say the same thing. It's like because they can relate to the swing speed and how far we're hitting it and all of that. And of course the men, they're driving it so far you can't even see it, but it's impressive and it's fun to watch them live as well.
Oh,
But if
sure.
you're looking to learn how to do something, yeah, I think they always look to the women.
Yeah, and the women have always been more outgoing as far as if you ask for help, they'll
Yeah.
and it's probably more relatable to the average golfer. Is not
Yeah.
exactly, but it's more relatable.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Danielle and I are going to take another break, and we're going to be back here on Grilling at the Green in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to Grilling at the Green. We'd like to thank Squares Golf Shoes. I've got a couple of pairs of squares, and so does the crew on the TV show, and they're very comfortable for me. When you get old, your foot gets stupid, and so I found that they help me actually stand up. So go to squaresgolf.com and check them out. We've got Danielle Ammaccapane. I say it slow, people, because I don't want to hose it up here. Anyway, as I told you, Danielle's the president of the Infinity Women's Golf Tour, but she was also a touring pro on the LPGA for a long time. And like I said at the top, you had 7 wins. I don't know where all my notes went, but you had a bunch of top tens and you had even more top 25s. What do you think? I mean, you made a nice life for yourself with that, and you got to do something you wanted to do. But how did that kind of mold you into getting to where you are now with the Infinity Tour?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just know that I know golf and I know I've traveled a lot. So like when we start to travel and do things, it'll be easier.
Sure.
But it's golf. In the end, it's nothing too serious. We're gonna go hit that white ball around a golf course somewhere around the world and around this country. And we're gonna entertain folks and hopefully they're gonna come watch us and get to know us a little bit better. And have some fun doing it. You know what I mean? That's really what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I love my
You
time on the LPGA tour. I really did. And if it wasn't for the fact that I um, traveled all over, I never would have met the people that I did. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. It does. It brings me full circle, brings me right here, right now. This is what I was meant to be doing.
What couple of tour related questions then? What was the most fun you had on the tour? What's something you looked forward to at every event, every week when you were on the tour that, yeah, you played golf and that's what you did for a living and you enjoyed
Yeah.
that, but there was must have been something always fun that you look
Well,
forward to.
it was kind of neat because we used to go to places that, that was your chance to go and sightsee and see like where you're at and visit and tour around and do things like that. So, for me, I took the opportunity either Monday or Tuesday, depending on if I knew the golf course or not. I might go to the beach. I might go, to a museum. I might go do whatever it was that, might be some touristy things around in that area and just kind of, do some fun things like that. I always used to like to do that kind of stuff.
What was the favorite thing you got to do when you came to Portland?
In Portland,
Yeah.
win the tournament. No, I just, I used to love it up there. I'm not kidding you. I always got the best feeling when I was up there. The tall pine trees and the way the air used to smell, it always used to smell so clean and
Yeah.
fresh. And it just, I just loved it up there. It just had a serene kind of a feeling to me. I always felt very calm. And I did. I always loved that area. I always used to play really good up in Portland and Seattle. And as far as getting out and stuff like that, downtown Portland used to be a lot of fun to go and hang
Right.
out down in there. There used to be some spots long, long time ago. I don't really know what it's like now, but I wouldn't venture too far. And there were some things I did want to do there that I didn't get to do. Like I wanted to go water rafting, but I felt like that might be a little too dangerous.
Oh, well, I don't know how it was then, but now they get you all suited up and helmeted up
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
yeah,
Back in those days, they probably just stuck you in a raft with a guide and a couple
probably,
other people and said, "There you go." But there's a
probably
lot of that up
right.
here. Yeah, yeah, no, it's all good,
Yeah.
and we have some great seafood up here. Yeah,
Yes, you do. Yeah, so that's a big thing for me too, because I come from the food background. Eating at good restaurants and always eating good food was always a challenge for me. Maybe I'm just a little too jaded or just a little too picky, but I always wanted to eat good food and I was always looking for the best restaurants.
absolutely. I don't blame you there. How did it? You've been off tour for a while now.
Yeah.
How do you think it has changed?
It's changed a lot of ways. Oh, well, I mean, I think it's too serious, like I said before.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's just too much of that kind of going on. That's the biggest change that I see. Um, I don't know if the girls look like they're having as much fun as they could, but I'm not there. I'm not behind the scenes. I can't kind of see what's really kind of happening. They're playing for a lot more money. The game, the equipment's changed. Really, I mean, there's so much has changed. They've stretched out the golf courses now. There's a lot of stuff, but I really felt like I played in the most fun era, though.
I bet you did. I bet
Yeah,
you did feel that way. I know that there's a lot more media
yeah,
focus on the LPGA tour.
yeah,
Of course, with social media and stuff, we're all either proponents or victims of that. But there's a lot of that. But I think that's a good thing for the ladies to do that, and
yeah.
I'm glad to see the money. There's been some incredible jumps in the money the last couple of years,
Hmm.
um, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's never a bad thing.
No.
Never, no, that's never a bad thing. The media and the coverage and all of that is all improved and it's all um you do know the ladies better than you did before and because of that and social media and the ladies their own branding of themselves they can do all of that now where we didn't have that wasn't available to us when we were you had to get agents and do all of that and it just everything moved at a slower pace. Now everything moves so quickly.
Oh yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. Um, it's interesting when you talk about the tours and stuff, Danielle, that they've got the Epson tour, which is their feeder tour, if
Hmm.
you will. Their
Yeah.
but um, again, Epson tour does not get near the coverage as the Corn Ferry tour does for the guys.
No. Oh
But
gosh,
if you
no.
go watch an Epson tour event, and
Yeah.
you know they have those events, and sometimes you don't even know they're in town or if they're within a 50-mile radius of you because they've
Right.
had a couple up here, and hell, I didn't know they were here, you
Yeah.
know. And I
Yeah.
do this stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
But again, you can go out and see those tours and see some really great golf
Yeah.
by the ladies. And
Yeah.
on those tours, they're liable to come sit down and eat a hamburger with you at the table, you
Exactly.
know, like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and those are the kind of gals that we're looking for over here, what we're doing. We're just offering another place for these ladies to play. If they don't get on the Epson tour, maybe they can come play with us,
Yeah.
you know? And just another opportunity is really what we're showcasing, both for the ladies over 40 and the younger gals who may not be able to get on the Epson tour. We can certainly accommodate them over where we are.
Are you looking to do, excuse me, any, as you progress, do some television coverage?
Oh
And,
yeah, we're going to
and
be streaming. Yeah, we're going to be
okay.
streaming right away. Yep. We have all that in, that's all almost done.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
What's
you.
one thing on your to-do list as far as the Infinity Tour that you can tell me without giving any trade secrets away, but that you still got a couple things to check the box on?
Um, well, I haven't secured all the players. Um, And I don't have, right now, I don't have a schedule for next year. So I don't have golf courses set up yet, and I don't have a schedule for next year. So those are coming like pretty quickly here. We're getting ready to because we've been so busy with the United Nations for this year, we're going to start getting ready for next year and start to put together a schedule.
Are you actually going out and doing site visits?
Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah.
I like. So
Mhm.
can I go to Marrakesh and do your site visit with you?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the Infinity Tours. This is just for the United Nations, but a way for us to get our brand out there as well.
Right,
Next
right.
year when we play, we will be just here in the United States playing, and where in the country, I have my thoughts about where I'd like to maybe go, but gosh, we have to secure those golf courses and the dates, and I don't have any of that secured yet.
We'll see if you can come up to the Northwest.
I'd love to. I love it up there. I would
Yeah.
love to. There's a lot of great golf courses in and around Portland.
I'll even cook for you. You probably didn't know that, but I'm a cook.
That would be
So
great. That would
we can do that. We can do that. Um, we're going to take another break here. And who did I forget to mention? Oh, yes, pig powder. The best powder rub on the planet. That's what it was voted, and I can verify that because I use it on lots of things. My co-partner and co-conspirator on the barbecue show, Leanne Whippen, that's her dad's recipe. So all you got to do is go to pigpowder.com. Danielle and I will be back in a minute, wrap up this show, and she is going to stick around for after hours, play victim for a few minutes with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Grilling at the Green. I'm JT. By the way, happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, same to everybody out there.
Yeah. And then Monday's President's Day. So you kind of got a 4-day weekend, more or less. How about
Yep,
that?
sure do.
We're talking with Danielle Amaka. Now, see, I did it again. Um,
Ammaccapane.
Amaka. I
That's
actually
funny.
know how to say it, Danielle. I am so sorry. Um, but you're not the first one that I've ever had a difficulty with like that. Anyway, Danielle is the founder and president of the Infinity Women's Golf Tour that's launching around the world this year and be in the States, coming soon to a city near you, I hope, like that. Um, what's your long-term goal with this? Do you see this going on for 10, 15, 20, 30 years? What?
Yeah, so we are going to franchise this business model, and we're in the works of doing that presently. So we're going to play in 2026. We will play predominantly just in the United States. In 2027, we will launch four other countries.
Uh-huh.
The year after that, we'll launch another four, and year after that, I think another two. So we are truly looking to get close to 10 countries to have the same model. And then at the end of that, we are going to have a true world championship.
Well, there you go.
We're going to take the best of the best from the world, and we're all going to play.
I love that idea. Is that
Yeah.
when a country gets a franchise, whoever purchases it and does
Mhm.
that, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah, they'll
is
have
that
franchise, we'll franchise it out and the model will stay the same. They can tweak it however we decide they can do that, but they'll get their own players from their own countries to play. And then like I said, once we kind of have enough countries, we can have a real world championship.
is it going to be or will they be doing one tournament or a series of
No,
tournaments and
they'll do their own, they'll formulate their own tour,
schedule?
like their own
Okay.
schedule and however many they want to play and their money and all that, how much that they play for and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Cool. And
Yeah.
will people from like somebody from the States, could they go play in Brazil or whatever? And or would they have to be invited?
Well, no, I think the whole point of that is to allow the ladies from their own country to play in their own
Okay.
tour. Yes.
Okay. Kind of
Yeah.
very developmental in a way
Yes.
to do
If you
that.
want to play in the United States, you would play with us here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people will ask me or they'll
Yes.
send me emails, so I want to
Yeah,
know. So
and we're starting with 40 next year in each league, so we'll have 80 girls total, but that is going to change. We know that the following year we may be double that. We may be 80 in each league. We may be expanding very quickly. Because we want to accommodate as many players as we possibly can.
tell me about the trades. This is sounding like NFL and
It
stuff
is.
and Major
So
League Baseball. Put somebody on waivers, get them out of here.
we're going to do something called a mid-season trade. So maybe after 5 tournaments, if another team captain says, "Hey, I'd like to have that player on that other team," well, then they can negotiate that trade and see how that goes. And then we also have that fifth player when we start doing our team play. That fifth player that's sitting out, if that team captain says, "Hey, I'd like to sub in that fifth player and take another girl out," well, she'll be able to do that after 9 holes.
I see. So,
Mm-hmm.
what
So, I mean,
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of a scenario like I was thinking back in school, and it's like we always had one kid that got stuck on a team, but nobody wanted him, and they tried to trade him off to another team,
it
and then
is
nobody
it is
take
pretty
him.
funny how that kind of, you could kind of think that way, but they're all together on a team. They're all getting, guaranteed money to play or not play. And to encourage, to help their team, they can go out there and cheer them on and do whatever they want to do. They can get in a cart and go follow them around. And, it just we're going to have lasers. We're not going to really have caddies. It's going to be, it'll really be different.
I like that.
Yeah.
Uh, are they? You said you have letters of intent, and that's good. But are they going to be still independent contractors like they are on the other tours?
Yes, these ladies will be able to grow their brand and do whatever they like to do. The guaranteed money just means that they have to play in all those events
Okay,
because we are paying them to be there. Aside from that, they can grow their brands, they can have sponsors, we can help them with that. They can do it on their own. All of that can be done.
excellent.
Mhm.
And where can folks find out about this, Danielle? Do they have a website or?
Yeah, just well, you can certainly email me at Danielle at infinitywomensgolftour.com. Infinity Women's Golf. Yeah, I mean, you just go to the website, infinitywomensgolftour.com. So if
Okay,
you want to go to the website, you can contact us there, and they can certainly find me at that email as well. Yeah, so we're excited. We're super excited. I'm thrilled. I wish we were moving faster, but Ty is one person and he's doing it all himself, but moving at a rapid pace.
no, I think it's
Yeah,
great, and I
yeah,
and I commend you for trying to create this. Well, you not trying, you have created it, but it's a big job. But
yeah.
seeing your vision come to fruition, that's a great thing, Danielle.
Yeah, I was talking to another gal and by the name of Jane Geddes who has been on the LPGA for a long time, and she's won a few majors and stuff. And I said to her, I go, well, I didn't win any majors, but I said this kind of feels like that. This
Yeah,
putting this together kind of feels like my major, and it feels really rewarding, and it feels special.
good for you.
Yeah,
Well, and congratulations. Well, we're going to get
thank
out of
you.
here. Danielle and I are. We're going to do after hours. But don't forget, you can go to infinitywomensgolf.com. Is that correct?
InfinityWomen'sGolfTour.com.
Tour.com.
Yep.
There you go. And
Mhm.
find out more about it. And I look forward to talking to you more about this in the future as things really start rolling.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. We're going to be back next week with another edition of Grilling at the Green. Until then, go out, play some golf. Stay warm. If you live up here in the Northwest, a little chilly right now. But go out there. But most of all, be kind. Take care, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to After Hours here on Grilling at the Green. I am Jeff Tracy. If you didn't know that, well, you probably didn't miss too much, but I've been around for a while. We've got, I'm going to see if I can get this right. Okay. We've got Danielle Ammaccapane with us today. I do it right?
Yay.
Hey,
Yes.
how about that?
Hey.
See, I get to giggling and then hell, nothing works when I start
Yeah,
laughing,
right. I
you
know.
know, because,
Mhm.
and I'm laughing at myself. I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Danielle decided to be brave and stick around for after hours. Um, we'd never met before, and after hours, who knows? She may never want to talk to me again, but we'll see what we can do. Are you ready?
Yeah. Well, let's do
Okay,
it.
okay, okay. If you could play a round of golf with one of your golfing heroes, and you played lots of rounds with
Hmm.
lots of outstanding heroic ladies and stuff, and probably some guys too.
Yeah.
But if you could play a round of golf with one of your golfing heroes, who would it be?
I would love to play with Jack Nicklaus. Yeah. If I had my druthers, yeah, I would love to, and Nancy Lopez, Jack Nicklaus, those were the ones that I really admired. Of course, I got to play with Nancy Lopez, so that
Yeah,
dream came true. But Jack Nicklaus, that would have been cool.
good.
Yeah.
All right. Who was the biggest influence on you personally in your life?
Personally, probably, a couple of folks. I had obviously my parents, my mom, my dad,
Yeah.
Laura and Ralph, and then my coach Bill Cornelius, who passed away um, quite some time ago. But he really did kind of steer me in the right direction with my game and stuff. And I did the best that I could. I wasn't a very, you know, strong, little person, and I just kind of just took what he gave me and I did it to the best of my ability. And I was lucky enough to win, more than once um, and have a pretty good career. So I'm very thankful to Bill and my parents for, allowing that to happen.
You had an excellent career.
Thank you.
Um, Name something that you were really enthused about when you first saw it or heard of it, and then with time, the excitement kind of fizzled. This is about golf, of course.
Something that was exciting, but then fizzled, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Oh, I don't know. I don't understand the question, I don't think. Let me think. I don't know. Maybe like are you thinking like maybe like travel, like it was exciting and then it got kind of boring after?
Yeah. I mean, that first time you go to the airport and you get
Like
on
the
a
first
jet.
time you went internationally on a first class,
Yeah.
plane, you're kind of doing that whole thing. And then after a while, you're like, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah. I got 17 hours to get there
Yeah,
type thing. Right.
exactly. Like
Right.
I think the whole stigma of it kind of wore off.
Okay, here's something you can relate to, I'm sure, Danielle. If you were declared supreme ruler of golf for one day,
Hey,
what would you decree as supreme ruler?
that you don't have to hit it from the divot.
There you go.
How about that?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Um, what's the dumbest thing you ever saw happen when you were playing on tour? Now, it could have been something you did, or it could have been something another player did, or it
Oh, well,
doesn't
the
matter.
dumbest, yeah, I mean, the dumbest thing was forgot to sign my scorecard.
Uh-oh.
Walked out of the tent and, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Solve automatic disqualification. I'm like, well, that was dumb. Yeah.
How far did they let you get
Yeah,
away?
I think about that all the time. I got all the way up to the locker room before they came and chased me down. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
this was a long, long time ago. One of my first, I don't know, a few years on tour.
Yeah.
And it was a long time ago, but that's probably something that probably doesn't need to have happen too. Like they probably don't need to sign their scorecards. I mean, everybody knows what they shot. It's on
Right.
television. Everybody's like, why do you have to verify it? It's like
Right. Right.
they
Right.
already know it, and but yeah, that was not too smart on my part.
You mentioned about hitting out of a divot, but are there other things that you think that maybe we could come into the 21st, 22nd century in golf rules? Some of them are
Well, like I
still a
just
little
said, I think
stodgy.
those, yeah, I think those two things. I think signing your scorecard and maybe the divot thing maybe could be something that you could
Yeah.
fix. Those
Yeah.
two things come to my mind right away.
How we're getting off the questions here, but that's okay. Do you think we need to be rolling back golf balls and equipment?
Hmm. I thought about that the other day. I heard it on the radio, and um, I don't know. I don't know because I don't think that the game is, they're talking about because the land is getting too bright. You can't keep stretching these golf courses out. So what do you have to
Right.
do to combat that? You got to make them hit it shorter. Um, if they hit it shorter, they're still going to all be in the same area. So the same guys are hitting it. They're either up here or they're back here, but they're all at the same area, right? So I
Right.
don't know that that really matters all that much. And so, and I don't know how that changes the game. It just needs to be more fun, wherever they're hitting it from and whatever they're doing, just enjoy it more and give the fans a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
Yeah,
don't, especially as for amateur players and weekend warriors and that. I
yeah.
don't think you need to make it more difficult for them.
No, I think, and with professional golf, making a birdie these days isn't like when you were making a birdie, like just when you go way back, to
Yeah.
where the game, like making a birdie was something special. Now it's almost like a given. It's almost like a par. And so like when you see these people, these guys, and they make a birdie and they can hardly,
Right.
get excited about it because it's like the norm. It's like making a par for them. There's no ex I
I understand.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's where
Yeah.
I think the game is a little wonky for me.
Well, let me tell you, I still get excited when I make a
I do too,
birdie.
though,
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
make that many either.
When you were on tour and there was a lengthy weather delay, um, lightning,
Food,
rain, whatever, what did you do
food,
during the delay? Did you, you know,
food.
food? Okay. I can dig that.
Yeah, food, food, food. Eat. Go inside and get warm and eat.
Eat. That's a good idea. Um, if you could dine with a historical figure, Danielle, who would it be and what would be on the menu? It doesn't have to be related to golf, can be anybody.
Um, it would be some sort of a chef that could cook me an amazing Italian meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many chefs that I like. Yeah, my dad was a chef. I would love for I would love to for one of these fancy chefs to cook me an amazing Italian meal.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. Not Chef Boyardee. Right. Right. Not none of that. Okay. Do you remember the first time you ever picked up a golf club?
Sure do. Yep. Yeah, I was 10 years old. My dad took me to a driving range. It was a lit up driving range here in Phoenix, and we would go at night after dinner and we
Yeah.
go hit balls, and I loved it. And shortly after that, he asked me if I wanted to play a little tournament out here, and I wanted to play and kind of did that. And then shortly after that, because I loved it, he's like, "Well, let's get some lessons." And that's when I was introduced to Bill. But it just I remember I was 10 years old and I went to a 1 month summer camp in Arizona. You don't want to do that nowadays.
No, you don't want
Oh
to do
my
that.
God, it was awful. But we were, I was 10 years old at the time, and I remember filling out a questionnaire at the end, and it said something like, what would you like to do at your game or something like that? And I said I wanted to be an LPGA professional. And I just knew way back then that that's what I wanted to do. And I just love the game.
For those of you who not are not informed, uh, especially from what would you say, April to October, maybe you don't want to be out doing stuff in the middle of the
Yeah.
day
Not
there.
out here, not in
No,
Arizona. My God, the sun is just it's just too hot here. You can play here in June. It's low hundreds. But July, August, September, oof, it's brutal. And you can't do much. But there are people that play here and I've been here for so long that I don't know what it is. It's like it's really hard for me to be out in the sun and I have to kind of cover myself up because I really feel like my skin burns now.
yeah.
But I get away in the summertime and then I don't have to be here during those hot summer months.
For my first day of work was in the middle of August,
Oh,
and it was at a horse farm. So we were outside, and it was 117 degrees.
oh, geez.
But I learned quickly because, these guys had lived there for years.
Yeah,
We would start at 5 in the morning and we'd work till about 11. And then we'd
yeah,
come back and they'd feed the horses at about 6, between 5 and 6:30. And then between 6:30 and 7, we'd all show up again and we'd work till about 11 o'clock at night.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what we
yeah,
did in the heat
yeah,
of the day, heat of the
yeah.
summer.
You just can't be out in it. It's just, it's rough.
Yeah. Danielle, is there one mistake in your past that, besides not signing the scorecard, because there's no play on words here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you would like to erase?
Um, is there one what now? Did I want to?
A
Oh,
mistake from, yes,
mistake. Um, I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from them. I don't know if I take them away. I think you're a better person for,
yeah,
for that if you can learn from those kinds of things and stuff. And God knows I made my mistakes. And I learned from them. Um, but taking them away, I don't know that I did anything that was that serious that it needed guy kind you kind of go, oh God, I really wish I didn't,
right.
do that. Of course there's a few things maybe in college, but we all
That's legal.
yeah,
That's legal.
hey, maybe I could take that away. But once I kind of got, on tour and stuff like that, I tried to have as much fun as I could. And you know, I don't think so. Nothing really comes to mind. It's a
What's
good
one thing
question
you,
though.
well, thank you. What's one thing you miss about your 20s?
About how good I felt,
Yeah. Yeah.
about how fast I could get out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my 20s, man, did I have fun. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love to go out and dance and do stuff and hang out with my friends and just kind of I was traveling and doing all that kind of stuff. I love to travel. Yeah, I love that. Now it's hard. It's like now I have to, I actually have to watch how I get out of bed so I don't hurt myself. That's sad. But, you know, and then, the thought of me getting on an airplane and going to Marrakesh this summer is killing me. My body's kind of screaming at me going, why are you doing this? And
Right.
so that's going to be interesting to see how I feel when I get to the other side.
Um, do you, um, we kind of already touched on this, but do you think there should be any major changes made to pro golf and or amateur golf?
No changes. I'd like to see maybe a little more team stuff, different format things. Besides, we talked about the scorecard, signing
Right.
that, and then the divots. There's no reason to play from a divot. I mean, that's kind of silly.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
I think that's, playing it where it lies. I get it, but if you hit it in the center of the fairway, you should be playing from grass, not someone else's mistake, divot or whatever you want to call it. But anyways,
Sure.
but yeah, those are kind of things that I was thinking, you know.
We kind of touched on this, but what's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Well, I mean, now it's, you mean back then?
Now or then.
Well, it's different. I mean, back then it was, because I was on tour and I was kind of getting myself ready and I didn't need that much time to get ready. One thing I knew, I never liked to spend that much time on the range. So I didn't, the range was the very last thing I did before I went to the tee. So I would chip and putt and do all that kind of stuff first. Then I went to the range and then I went straight to the tee from there. I didn't go to the putting green and I wanted to make sure that I was loose and ready to go and then just kind of take off. Nowadays, I need a lot more time to get ready to do anything. And
I'm laughing with you. I'm
yes,
laughing
I
with you.
know. You understand, right?
Yeah, yeah. That old horse guy.
But no, it's, in the mornings I get up now. I'm transitioning into being more of a business person than I am, that tour golfer now. And so I have a few things that I'm doing and you have to get up. I'm gonna have some coffee. I didn't drink coffee when I was on tour. So have a cup of coffee, get myself going, emails and jumping into creating documents and different things that I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Only a couple more here. um, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of biased. It's kind of my daughter was in bedtime stories, so maybe that movie.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You weren't a helicopter mom on the set, were you?
God, no,
Okay.
no.
I worked in a
No,
couple movies, so
in fact, when my daughter said she didn't want to do any acting anymore, I was kind of like, oh, thank God, I don't have to be in LA anymore. I'm going back to Phoenix. So we hightailed it back here, but boy, that was rough living out there, driving her all around and doing all that stuff she was doing. Don't get me wrong, I had the best time and I got an eye opener to the inside track of how that entertainment industry works firsthand, no doubt, but it was rough. I mean, all those drives for her when I had to go up to all those studios and different places for her auditions and the work and all of that. And it all had to be done after school, which was like rush hour traffic, and you can't get anywhere in LA.
right.
A turnaround, the shortest turnaround time for me, 4 hours. I kid you not. It was a 5 to 6 hour thing almost daily, if not every other day. It was a lot.
Well, I commend you for doing it and supporting
Thanks.
supporting your kid that way.
Yeah.
It is just
She was
yeah,
good. She was in a few things that were really, really good. She's no longer doing that kind of stuff. She's married and she gave me and my husband two beautiful grandkids. And these little girls, Aniston and Amelia, are just precious. And they're coming out here in a few days, and I'm so excited to see them.
grandma spoiled them.
Yeah. Well, they live on the East Coast. They're in Pennsylvania. I don't get to see them very much.
Okay. All right. Um, if if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
Oh, geez. That's terrible.
Oh, a lot of people have some great answers to this though,
Do they
Danielle.
really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because there's no limit to what you can eat. You don't have to worry about calories.
No, you don't have to worry about anything. Well,
Yeah.
no, it would certainly be something fattening and something good, right? You'd
Yeah.
have I'm Italian. It's going to be some sort of the best Italian pasta dish that I could figure out what it had in it. Some sort of, seafood, whatever. And I'm going full blown with the ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring the gelato truck right
Just
back
bring
up.
we're talking ice cream and Cool Whip and chocolate syrup and nuts and bringing it all.
Yep, that a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Last
Yep.
question. What do you want to do if and when you ever retire?
Yeah, I'm already retired. Uh, if and when this is what I'm doing in my retirement, this is it. You're seeing it right now.
Okay. Well, that's a good answer.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, if I ever walk away from golf completely and I just disappear or something, I don't really know what I would be doing. Probably traveling and, taking the grandkids and doing stuff with them.
there you go.
Yep.
Daniela, um, thank you for being with us today. You've
Yeah.
been a good sport, a great interview,
Well,
and I
thanks.
wish you all the success with
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeff. You do a great job with your show and congrats on all your success.
well, thank you. We'll be back next week with another edition of After Hours. see me abuse more people. It's always fun. Go out, play some golf, have some fun, but most of all, be kind. Take care, everybody.